Hi guys, in this tutorial we will see CSS styling and how to import CSS files in React.js. So if you remember last time we have created all that code when we were learning about JSX attributes. So first of all we have to import index.css file here. Import make colon and slash forward. Here we have to type index.css. No, the index.css is imported in that page. So the next step we have to do is class or ID to which we are making any CSS styling. So if you remember in HTML and CSS, when we were creating a simple website through HTML and CSS, we used either class is equal to, or we either used ID is equal to. Only these two things we were using while we were creating website through HTML and CSS. But in React.js, we have to use class name instead of class, because class is a reserved word in React.js. So if I make any that you can say I am writing here heading, and if I move to index.css folder, here I am typing dot heading, and to that heading we are pointing. Just wait for a moment. Control C and Control V. There is still an error. So first of all I am going to align text at center. Control S, and let me show you the output. You can see that text is successfully aligned at center, but what is the error? There is not shown any error here, as class was not basically the styling of index. You can see that here it is showing an error. Here it is, if you see it clearly, that React DOM is giving any error here, that invalid DOM property. Let me a bit minimize it so that you might be able to understand clearly. Invalid DOM property class. Did you mean class name? It is saying that the property name class is invalid, and did you mean that class name? This is also giving its answer that instead of class we have to use class name. So if we use here class name instead of class, here I am just typing no class name, and you can see that it is still showing. Control S, and if I move to our inspect, you can see that there is no any error here, because this error is resolved now. So the very basic thing that you came to know, that instead of class we have to use class name in React.js, because class is a reserved word. So I'm making further CSS styling here. Text color, I can change color to #FA91 at 91, and here I can have text transform capitalize, and font weight bold, and text shadow, you can see here text shadow, and here I am giving a shadow of 0 pixel, 2 pixel and 4 pixel, and I am also giving here a color as FFE9C5. These are nothing but just color codes. I hope you came to know it clearly. Control S, and let me show you the output. You can see that it is looking beautiful now, and every name's first letter. This is the first word. This one is. Let me remove it. Here, every word's first letter, you can see that is capital. This is just because of capitalize property we have used here. Text transform capitalize, that every word's first element would be capital. So let me make changes in these images. First of all, I have to give class names here. I can have any div here. You can use any div, and inside this div I am just pasting these classes that we are now pointing to whole div, and this div is containing classes, images basically. So here I can write that img underscore div, Control S, and I'm just copying it, Control C, and pasting here, Control V, and here I can write any CSS styling width width 200 pixel, height of I'm just writing it by myself. You can have it random. This height would be huge, so I'm just typing 200 here, Control S, and let me show you how it looks like. You can see that these images are showing one at the bottom of other image. So now what I have to do, I'm again making it, and I'm now pointing to images at this div display. I can say it is flex, Control S, and so you can see it's all. This was basically our CSS styling.